Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 21st through the 27th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to really allow ourselves to connect in with our inner being, your inner divine source of light, purity, clarity, understanding, wisdom, peace, and abundance, and also prosperity and success. And as we just tune in and just allow that light to just flow throughout your body, let it pour into the cells of your body, and let it just continue to fill up the space where you're sitting. And feel yourself enveloped in the warmth of your divine soul and its light, as it is like wings, your angel wings expanding all around you and embracing, protecting everything that you hold dear and that you cherish, especially your gifts, your divine talents, your skills, to allow that to expand, to allow the growth and expansion to occur for you right now. And so the angels were showing me, and I'm just seeing the angels with their wings expanded around you right now. And so if you could hold yourself in this place of appreciation and gratitude and feel the happiness that they are holding for you, the space of deep love, profound love, allowing you to expand your resources and your creativity. And they want you to pay attention in this week, as they were showing me before in meditation, almost this deep cosmic love. So they were giving me a sense, they were showing me these waves sort of across the screen of my vision. And it was giving me a sense that in this week, you're going to experience really deep emotion. So there's this this sense of this cosmic love, sort of activating the 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 depths of your subconscious, okay, and sort of just bringing to the surface really your gifts, your talents, creativity, just really bringing forth so the thing is that they don't want you, so this is going to create some challenges, obviously, but this is going to also be a useful tool, and they want you to not be afraid of your guidance, of your emotions, because what's happening is that it's almost like your heart's beginning to break open. And I had this experience. It was really amazing. I was singing through some music, and every phrase was just so beautiful, but on every level of my body, my imagination, my voice, my heart chakra, every part of my being for the first time was aligned while I was working on some music I had from years ago, and but everything was fully present and feeling very deeply, and it felt like my heart was breaking open. But this was a great thing, because it was this great release and surrender to my truth, and so this is what I'm sensing for you in the same way. So it may bring up some challenges, But what it's going to really allow you to do is to stand in your power, to to nurture, the power that comes through you. You have a great ability to channel love, and a spiritual love, a very cosmic love, and you're going to be able to use this. It's going to help you to see those challenges, those obstacles where you haven't been able to get past it. It's going to help lift you, is the word they're writing. Going to help lift you right over those worries and concerns. And you're going to just get high enough to see the solutions, to see where what's the cause, because the solution is the cause. It's been moving through all along, like creating pathways and avenues and opportunities and possibilities. And when you get this sort of thrust from within, and there's this divine blueprint that's been embedded, of cosmic love that's been embedded deep within your subconscious, within your soul, within the divine feminine, where this creative activity is bubbling up and ready to open up and ready to serve in profound ways. And what they want you to pay attention to is the hope that you start to feel, the inspiration, it's almost like somebody turns on a light bulb inside, and all of that emotion, just sort of translates into great joy and this wealth of ideas. And so even though you may not feel that there's a lot of external change represented around you, but that's just the point. It's now about how you feel. Notice how you feel differently. Notice what's coming, welling up within you. Notice how you're feeling differently about the circumstances. Noticing the brilliant ideas that start to occur to you, or just even a glimmer of hope, that little glimmer is able to create such a beautiful shine it creates a beautiful shine, so to speak, on your circumstances, even if it just lights up an aspect of it, and it helps you to change your perspective, to be able to feel like you can change the story that you've been sort of crafting out of your pain and your suffering. And we get stuck on the pain. But here, I feel like there's just going to be some shift and so they want you to really embrace your emotions, in terms of understanding it as a navigation tool, helping you to understand where you are needed, or where you are being encouraged to go. Even if you can't get past the pain, that you at least recognize that this is not doing anything for you to keep reliving this over. That maybe now you get a hint that to try something different, to just go and try anything radically different from that which you've been doing, in order to get even a slight change in your results, and to keep moving in that direction until you feel whole in some way. They're writing out I don't get this, but I'll just say it anyway. But it's like I saw gold, and I was thinking of gold energy, and then I saw the word gesture. So I feel like it's a healing gesture, okay? You may feel like you're sacrificing something, but and something that's certain. I'm saying the word certainty. It's like you feel like you're sacrificing, something that's, you can count on, that's certain. But the thing is that what you're doing is you're opening up, you're allowing yourself to heal, and by trying this other option out there. And the thing is the reason we get stuck in our pain, and what it usually does is tells us that we don't have options and that this is it, and it just makes it bigger. And any ideas that you try to entertain, it makes you feel as though your mind, your ego mind, starts to discredit every possibility. You try to walk this way in your mind, but here's the thing, that's just going on in your mind. And most people let the egos, sort of like quarantines you in your state of mind, and that's just it. If you would get to the point where you go beyond your mind and start to act on some of those ideas, because most times we don't try them out. We listen to the talk in our head, and then we say to ourselves, I'm just stuck. But why don't you implement just one of those ideas? Just keep following through, because the thing is, you have no idea that, remember, the ego is afraid. So it tells you the worst case scenario because it doesn't want you to be harmed. It's not trying to, it doesn't want you to be hurt. It doesn't want you to be harmed. It doesn't want you to have a broken heart. It doesn't want you to feel the failure. So it tells you all these things without really investigating. And that's what you need to do. You need to investigate, because it's okay to investigate and find out whether it's going to work or not. It's better that you found out rather than thinking that it's not, and then not having any solutions available to you. So investigate, because your ego won't do that. It's afraid too to go beyond the boundaries. It won't go out there and do the work for you, so that in order to keep you safe. Because that's the thing about the ego. It's just as much as afraid, and if not even more threatened than you should be. And so you're going to have to investigate. When your ego starts throwing thoughts out at you, you have to investigate them for yourself. You can't rely on this conversation. You just can't trust your ego because it hasn't done the work. Are you understanding this? So for all of you who let yourselves be, I'm not going to say bullied, but for some of you it may feel that way. But for those of us who let yourselves be influenced, by or persuaded, by your ego, you're doing so without any proof. There's no real information to substantiate this. There's no investigation that has happened. There's no research, nothing. So you have to listen, trust that the ideas that inspired you in your heart came from source, and that they have been investigated, and that it's up to you, of course, how well it works. And that's where your faith comes in. Okay? And not giving up just because one detail didn't work. And remember that there's all these things going on with you, and we're not always in the balanced place, so that when a balanced idea is given to us from source, we're not in a balanced receptive mode. And so when we do try things, we kind of get sort of like what we were kind of like thinking it was going to be kind of like, you know what I mean? And then you go, see, like you proved yourself right. Yeah, you did. You proved the laws of attraction correct, that it will give you what you offer it. So the ideas that you get are coming to you pure and clean and whole and vibrant and successful. But once it gets in that mix of you struggling with your ego, once it gets into that scope of your awareness, then there's a lot of room. But it doesn't mean that the idea isn't crystal clear. Like it's like a beacon of light that it literally is shining forth and clearing the path ahead, So, but the thing is, you are the artist, so to speak. You are the creator, and so you get to tweak how it moves forward, but it's still stronger than you. And so all you got to do is clear your mind, get in that balanced perspective, be receptive and open without interference, and the idea, let the guidance do the work. It's already strung together for you, meaning that it's always strung together. When Source gives you something, it's always strung together in many ways, not just in a way, but in many ways for you to succeed. Knowing how you are and knowing your tendencies and taking that into account, and wanting very much for you to always do your best while allowing you the freedom to make your own choices. Do you understand what I just said there? So it's still up to you, and you have to just go forward and try to be fearless a little bit each time as you plot your way forward. You may not get it perfect in the first 2, 3 tries of going with the flow of things that are coming and that have been provided for you, and that's okay. Don't worry about the stumbling, because when you stumble, because the path is perfect as it comes from Source, but because you stumble and because you are an extension of Source, then when you stumble, when you and I have challenges, when we are when we suffer, this, because we are pure light, everything that we do turns into a growth lesson, an opportunity. It will cause you to develop. It's sort of like development happens no matter what. Expansion happens no matter what. So no matter what we're experiencing, it's going to make, when we are ready to accept what we've been given, we're going to be better for it. We're going to have more appreciation of what we have now. When we're ready to allow ourselves to have that, we'll have more appreciation, more gratitude. We will have a greater understanding. The knowledge, the wisdom is what I'm saying. It won't be lost on the mistakes that we make. If anything, our wisdom, our knowledge grows through our experiences. So this is why they really want you to really just allow your heart to open to this cosmic love, this blueprint that seems to be erupting from deep within the subconscious. It was put there, placed there in the origin of creation, that for a time when we would awaken and we would activate the ascension energies and within us, and to stimulate that and provide those services out there for others and for ourselves. So this is in a sort of a simple way of looking at this is going to be a time this week, I feel, of great creativity, a lot of activity where you are experiencing new perceptions, your new perspective. You are brilliant ideas flow. Your creativity is somehow enhanced or freed in some way. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the Archangel Oracle card for the week that gives us an overview for the week. Okay, and we've had this card come up recently. This is Archangel Chamuel, and he actually, with in the fifth dimensional 12 chakras, he works with the heart chakra actually, and helps actually connect us to this cosmic love. So this is really fitting that this card comes up, and it says peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Okay, and so the love that you feel in your heart, this wave of emotion, this breaking open. Don't be afraid. They want you to really allow your heart to break open. Okay? This love that you feel, this is your reality. This is true guidance. This is what you've this is the connection that you're looking for. And for some of you, it may not be what you're going to feel every day of your life, but that it is happening on some level. And that something, it doesn't matter what causes it to open. So for some of you, it may be like a beautiful work of art or something. And for some of you, it may be this challenge that breaks open your heart and allows you to feel the depth of your soul. This is the point of this that you get a sense of what this is. Not that you'll be working like in this way every day, although it'd be a wonderful thing, but that you get a sense of it so that you know when your heart is really embracing something, so that you don't have to worry that there is any doubt about the choice that you're making. And the thing about it is, as well, is what they want you to know, and they're kind of giving you a sense, they want you to know that whatever desire or choice you have, that the universe backs you up. It breaks open. It backs you up with this love we're talking about. So a lot of times people don't make decisions because they're looking for an okay signal, as if the universe is always telling you what you should be doing. And when you don't do it, you think your emotional system is like this, which is slightly different. It's like you're thinking, well, I am here to fulfill something, and it has come from the universe. And when I'm doing that thing, the universe says, I'm okay. I'm a good boy or a good girl. I'm good. But when I'm not doing it, I don't feel good. And the universe is saying to me, you're not a good boy. You're not a good girl. The universe is not here to make a puppet out of you. You are here because you're an extension of Source. You are a creator. And you are so divine that you've been trusted to enact the unconditional love in our world. You've been brought here because you've been entrusted with the guardianship of our planet and our fellow other beings here on the planet, human and otherwise. You've been entrusted here to be a good steward, and you have the inspiration, the blueprint within you to fulfill this, but they want you, it's up to you how you do it. And so you are waiting. What you need to do is start making decisions. Stop waiting for something to help you to figure out what makes you happy, and you start making those choices. Now, if you can't make that choice, which we all now consider the ultimate choice because we put too many obstacles in our way, sort of like what I've described, start with the small things. Start with the things that you don't think are your choices. For instance, and some of them you know they're your choices, but you think they're too insignificant for you to even give them the same kind of care. You know, when you start giving care to the tiniest of details, and I don't mean obsession, I don't mean become obsessive over any of these things, but when you give the same kind of thoughtfulness or towards the smallest details as you do to the bigger ones, then you create a natural balance in your life where you and an equality, because equality is something that we struggle with in our interactions in the outer world. But this equality struggle begins within, when we make one thing more important to us than another. When anything that we are bringing into our lives or considering as a part of our lives should be given equal importance all the time. So, for instance, start with what do you put on your body? What do you want to eat? Like, ask yourself, how do you want to feel? And then decide which food would allow you to feel this way. So when you eat, you may say, I want to feel healthy. Okay? So then you start choosing foods that feel healthy. Listen to your body. Do you just, you get that little sense? I go to places and I get a sense in my stomach right away. My body's already telling me, we don't like that. And so, I have to now listen, because if I don't, what the feeling that it was giving me sort of a psychic feeling of what was going to happen afterwards, and it happens. So pay attention. Like, I did this with everything, every decision of the day, clothes. Like, I ask myself, how do I want to feel? Because we never do that. And when we ask ourselves how we want to feel, we're establishing the emotional connection, which is that one aspect of the laws, that we're always offering emotional content. And the universe, that thought and the emotional content, the thought content and the emotional content is what goes out. But see, thoughts, we can say I want this, and we can say I'm choosing this, and that doesn't get too screwy. But it's the emotional content that's like sort of malleable, and without you really knowing what you're doing, because you're going through feelings. Like, you think we're sort of stuck in one feeling at a time. We're going through all of the feelings constantly, and we're never really landing. We kind of expand, and kind of like, sort of, but they're fluidly, they're running through us. And so the thing is that if that thought and your emotional content doesn't it doesn't stabilize, but if it isn't focused, then you don't get what you're really wanting. And so this is what's really important for you, is go ahead and start making choices like this, so that when you make a decision about what career makes you happy, or what home, you have this immediate understanding. You understand the value of the connection, of asking yourself, how do I want to feel? Like, what is it? What job what is it? First of all, how do I want to feel in my job? Decide that first, because see, that's what the job is going to end up being oriented around. That's going to be the key player, not so much the thought, but how you want to feel about the thought. Because if you can get the emotional content in place, then when you focus on a specific idea, you are more likely to find harmony within the relationship between the two, and be able to start moving towards it. Because see, the thing is that you aren't moving towards it as much as it starts to attract it. The components start to attract themselves to you. More clarity of the idea attracts to you. As more clarity of the idea attracts to you more, and you feel the response, you resonate with the response of that clarity, then the emotional content starts to attract towards you the opportunities, the visions of what you want. So you may be driving, and all of a sudden you come across the house that fits that, and you it may not be perfect, but you have to recognize that this is getting closer, and you keep working with it in this way. And every time you acknowledge the clarity and the assistance of your guidance, the more that expands and becomes stronger and powerful, and eventually you find yourself just going straight to something. But this takes time, so start with the small things so that you can build this equality throughout your entire emotional guidance system, so that you don't think of one task as more difficult than another. This is sort of like what the Course in Miracles is talking about, where there's no order of difficulty in miracles. And this problem comes because we create this inequality in our emotional guidance about things. We put all the emphasis on the big things, and we keep forgetting to pay attention to the small things that make up our lives on a daily basis, within the hours of our lives. You see, okay. So let me just see if there's anything else that Archangel Chamuel is communicating, and I'm just getting a sense of emotional peace. Now I'm seeing my naked behind, but this time I'm seeing like tails, like the tucks over. So it's giving me a sense of performance, emotional performance. So hold on, let me see if I can kind of work with this image for a minute. But it's like your emotions are helping you to perform. They're helping you to conduct, and it's helping to conduct the things that you desire. In a way, it's orchestrating your things to manifest in your life. Okay, so in this week, pay attention to the things that your heart breaks open for, because this is going to be a powerful point of attraction for you to manifest and start orchestrating the things that you need around it. Okay, so you can focus on that connection and nurture it. Don't run away from it. Don't become afraid because all of a sudden all these changes occur to you that you feel like you're going to be sacrificing yourself. Okay? All right, so here we have the renewal card or the judgment card. And this gives me a sense of, something calling you. Okay? We had this card come up in the daily card messages from last week as well. So talking about that being summoned. All right, something really striking you. And look at all of this wave of activity here. And notice how the archangel, the people standing here, they're safe from this. It's almost like he's drawing, Archangel Chamuel is drawing all of this emotional activity unto himself, so as to keep it from crushing down on the people here. And it's giving them an opportunity to see an opening. So I'm feeling like you're being supported here. That you're going to, it's like you're going to see, it's almost like a life review, because Archangel Jeremiah helps with life reviews and evaluations. So you're getting an opportunity to, through some emotional experience, to see yourself, to see your life, and to see the possibilities. Something opens up, and you hear something deep within your soul. Something reaches out to you, kind of calls you, and you sort of rise up within yourself. And especially over the challenges where for one thing, I'm feeling that you won't be afraid of whatever it is that has been challenging you. That's going to just sort of begin to cease for you. And you're going to find yourself standing in the calm end of the waters while you see this kind of happening. So here again, it goes back to that peace, right? Where you're seeing love and not always just your fears. Let me just tune in and see if there's any additional information coming up. So they're showing me a chair, which is my symbol for reflection. So, expect this to be about that, where you have these moments, aha moments, a time of great reflection, and just breakthroughs, and about things that have been going on in your life, the things that you've been working on, about projects. They're showing me a beaver, building this dam, and I feel like, this is representing a project or something you've been trying to build, and you're going to have sort of a breakthrough through some kind of reflection. So it may mean that you may want to step away from something, even if something seems like it's distracting you, but it's calling your heart away from the thing you think that's important right now. Go with that, because that's going to give you that ability to break away from this situation so that you can have this deep inner reflection that's just going to shift your entire life. It's going to help you to make a better judgment, make better judgments for yourself, okay? From a higher plane. Okay, and now we have the Ten of Air. And this card is usually Ten of Swords, and is indicating, that you've reached this point and where you can't go any further. But when you think you can't go any further, it's that at that moment when you surrender, because you used to say, I just don't know what else to do. And I feel like what you've been doing, because it's a card of the mind and the intellect, is that you've been just pushing yourself in the too hard, or you've been unrelenting in how you've been proceeding, or you've not been willing to listen, and you've had this sense, you've felt something was calling you, but you weren't listening to it. But you finally surrender, okay? You finally surrender. You realize that your judgment has flaws, and that's okay. What a relief, That's okay. They're right in the word sophisticated. This is, a lot of people think of this as failure, but this is very sophisticated when we are able to recognize that we have flaws, because until you are willing to see the flaws without owning the pain of it and the guilt or whatever it is that you go against yourself, the judgment that you pronounce against yourself, when you're able to do this, poof, the opening is there, the solutions, the answers are readily available to you. So, in the middle of the week, don't be afraid to surrender to understanding that you're not perfect, that you maybe need support, that you haven't, really considered all your options, or that you haven't, there's been a new approach that somebody suggested or has come to you and you haven't given it a chance. And so that whatever happens that causes you to have to realize that's what you need to do, don't beat yourself up for that when you get to that moment and then throw judgment on top of it and bury yourself again. This is what they don't want you to do. Okay, so reflect, be at peace, open yourself to the cosmic love. Feel that love, because you're going to feel that in that moment. And let yourself embrace it, appreciate it. All right. And so here we go with the Six of Earth, which is about this balance. We have those two scales there. So that emotional balance, and that emotional balance that attracts abundance, starts to attract all the things you need, all the resources, all the energy, the time that you need. I'm getting a sense that if you would just, but like for somebody with your boss or something, or somebody you're working on a project with, if you would just say, you know what, I'm struggling, I need more time, that it would be given to you. I'm getting this feeling like if you would just say to somebody, I need more money to do this, that your honesty, that when you surrender, that they would provide that, or somehow an opportunity, somebody may have a way for you to make some more money, or to gain access to more money if that's what you need. The point is that if you would just go ahead and be honest and listen to your inner wisdom and surrender and recognize that, yeah, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to know it all. I don't have to have it all. I don't have to pretend like I'm the big guy on the block, and if I would just, and you're so worried about failure that it keeps you from doing the thing that would actually help you. This is what they're trying to get across to you. So when you do that, you're going to find that people are open to you, people are open to your humanness, which means all of you, the brilliance of you and the flaws of you, they're open to that. They're receptive to you when you're authentic, when you own who you are, but not just owning the weakness, but owning the wholeness of you. So they're more they're going to be more responsive. Your audience or your clients, okay? If some of you are worried about, um, you know, not doing something, or because you're afraid to look a certain way in front of your clients because you're supposed to be this, blah 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 blah. Don't let that get in your way. Embrace who you are, because that's who they really want to connect with. They I mean, they should know that you're a human just like them, and that you have abilities to um, provide services that really help them. Just shows your strength, because that strength, when they don't see you as just strong meaning that you are flawless, they see you as strong because they know you are flawless like them, but that you're still able to get up and do what you do to provide for them. That's the kind of strength that they rely on you for. Oh, you can't believe this. I didn't even know this, that the bottom card is the strength card. I mean, that's incredible. So this week is the bottom line. This is what the card from the bottom is. What's underlining your whole week here is that you have strength that you didn't even knew you possessed, and a lot of that strength was there all along. It's just that you were denying it because you were creating this illusion of what strength is. You were trying to present everything but who you truly are. Because who you truly are, authentically, that's strength. You and I are humans. And we live in this world of duality. There's conflict, there's contrast, and we don't always know what to do with it. We're not always sure. We succumb to our fears, and at times we're heroes, and we use our fears to help us do courageous things. But it doesn't mean that slight, subtle inner struggle is not always there. It's like a two sparks, two opposites rubbing together and creating an eternal spark that really is what's fueling your soul in this existence. But it's light, no doubt. It's light, no doubt, and therefore it's always there for you to as feedback, to help you bounce off ideas, and to create ideas through the two opposing forces. Something new, a third line is drawn out of this and is opened up to you. And so don't try to be anything, just be yourself. And notice how the world will respond to you. So this is going to be a great time of reflection, how you learn to be more in your truth and to own your truth and possess it. And as the more clearer you do this, the more honest it is, the more honest you find the balance between the thought and the emotional content, and then being able to find alignment together, and instead of fluctuating in contrast to one another, which is causing you not to have the experiences in the ways that are inapproximate to what you are truly desiring. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and thank you for joining us here this week. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com. On the services page, you can find the readings there that are available. You can find that link in the description link below. Thank you for all of your comments, for your likes on this page, and for subscribing if you haven't done so. If you've been away for a while, hope you're found your way back, and welcome you. If you're new, I welcome you. If you haven't found me on my Facebook page, there's a link below to my Facebook page, which I do the daily card messages Monday through Friday. They're written there. And you can also catch the videos and the Facebook daily card messages through Twitter, and that link is below as well. So have a beautiful week and enjoy all that life offers you. Peace be with you.